Good morning. Today, by online learning, we discuss class 10th first flight book chapter 2 stories about flying. In this chapter, there were two parts. First is his first flight, and second is Black Aeroplane. First flight is written by Liam O'Flaherty, and second is Black Aeroplane, written by Frederick Fawcett. So, what's in these two stories is first story, his first flight is about a seagull world. That how he conquered his fear and how he built up his self confidence and courage and conquer his fear. And second one is about Black Aeroplane is about a pilot who lost in storm clouds and how he arrives safe from that storm, who helps him. And these two stories are different, but it's all about self confidence, self courage. And let's see what's in chapter. Children, you all know when you are just born and then you start eating something, then start playing. So it's all about the first step that we want to take to develop our self confidence, the courage. You can see in this video, I show you video. You can see this baby. He start just trying to walk. He want to start his first step. When you are baby, आपको भी मतलब डर लगता होगा कि हाँ चलने से कि अगर मैं चलूंगा तो गिर जाऊंगा. So he just taking his first step. He tried to build up his self confidence, courage. You can see that little bit he is trying to walk and he gets success also in this. So it's all about that what we need in our life is first step. Every first step in life needs self confidence and courage. You can see जब हम एक ही काम को बार बार करते हैं we get हमारा जो fear है वो हमारे अंदर से डर है जो निकल जाता है. You can take an example of a school when you go for school first time. जब आप छोटे थे first time school में गए, you have many thoughts, many imaginations that it's like a jail or teacher is like a monster, something like that. Teacher will always beat me, and you all have that fear, but every day. So all we need to is the first step. To cover 100-mile distance, we have to take first step. If we want to be educated, what the first step is? We have to join the school or we have to join the classes, whatever. How story. This is the seagull bird I show you. In the video, this is seagull bird, white colored. Try to catch something from the water. In human being also, in birds also, all need the first step, the first move. to walk for 100 miles. The story, the seagull is to fly for the first time. Now in this story it's about the seagull, that it's the first flight. He's scared to take off. His two brothers and sister have already done this first flight. Now he's scared of, and his two brothers and sister already have their first flight. The seagull is encouraged by the family in many ways. Now all the family members tries everything to encourage him. He watches his family flying, hunting, enjoying flying, but he fails to join them. He lacks confidence, he is scared of height, he feels that his wings are not strong enough to make him fly. Now, what is that is he has lack of self-confidence, his lack of courage also. He's scared of height, he feels that his wings are not strong enough, he don't have that self-confidence in him. This is the natural reaction while doing any activity for the first time. It's a natural phenomena. It's not only in birds or not only in human. It's a natural phenomenon. All happens with all. You can take an example of yourself only. You have so many fears. You have fear of stage स्टेज पे जाके बोलना है. You also have the fear of going for school. कि स्कूल जाएंगे, the teacher is like a monster, or school is like a jail. But all you need to have is the first step that change all your nature. It's built on your self confidence, your courage, motivate you. So you all must have such type of fears. But to get rid out of that, what you need is the first step to fight with that, so that we all can get rid out of that. So same happens with seagull also. He has lack of self confidence, he is scared of height, he feels that his wings are not strong enough. This is the natural reaction. Ultimately, it's a trick played by his mother that he launches into his maiden flight. Now, what happens? His mother played a trick. As he is very hungry, so his mother picked up the piece of fish and was flying across to him with it. He leaned out eagerly, tapping the rock with his feet, trying to get nearer to her as she flew across. But when she was just opposite to him, she halted her. Wings motionless, the piece of fish in her beak almost within reach of his beak. He waited almost a moment in surprise, wondering why she did not come nearer, and then, maddened by hunger, he dived at the fish. Now what happens? Uski jo mother hai, usne kya kiya? वो start flying over it, having fish on in his beak. As and what he trying to do is to catch that fish from beak of his mother. So he start tapping his feet as he was very hungry. So by doing all this thing, his mother wants to help him out. She is playing a trick, that how I help him out. So then with a loud scream he fell outwards and downwards. Now he fell here. You can see the mountain range. Then a monstrous terror seized him and his heart stood still. He could hear nothing, but it only lasted a minute. The next moment he felt his wings spread outwards. The wing rushed against his breast, feathers, then under his stomach and against his wings. He could feel the tips of his wings cutting through the air. He was not falling headlong now. He was soaring gradually downwards and upward. He was no longer afraid. He just felt a bit dizzy. Then he flapped his wings once and he soared upwards. Now what happens? उसकी मदर ने उसको ये जो माउंटेन रेंज है यहाँ पे उसको बाय प्लेइंग अ ट्रिक उसको वो एकदम कॉर्नर पे लेके आ गई माउंटेन्स के। और क्या किया, शी थ्रो दैट फिश। So what happened, as he was very hungry, he just tried to catch it. He jumped, and he jumped over that, and now he get very frightened, and he could hear nothing. Next moment he start flying, his wings get spread over, and they just, he feels that they cutting through the air, and not, he also not falling down, he just start flapping it, and he gets success. And then he also start answered his mother with loud noise. And also he saw two brothers, sisters, all were flying, diving, and he felt very happy that he gets success. And उसका जो स्केयर था, उसका जो डर था, वो भी उसके अंदर से निकल गया, and he took his first flight. So it's upon us only that how we all ourselves help us out to take out that fear from us. It's all depend upon us कि हम हमारे अंदर जो डर है उसको एक ट्रिक, by playing a trick to ourselves only, we can rid out of that. हम उससे बाहर निकल सकते हैं. All we need is the first step. हमें क्या ज़रूरत है first step की. Example, if you have the phobia of maths, आपको maths का phobia है कि नहीं मैं कितना भी solve कर लूँ I will fail, मैं कर ही नहीं पाऊँगा. But you if you try and try again कि नहीं मुझे तो सिर्फ इसी में अपना पूरा दिन आज निकालना है और इस क्वेश्चन को करके ही रहना है एनी हाउ. सो इफ यू प्रैक्टिस अगेन एंड अगेन we can get rid out of that fear about maths. Same of anything, stage fear, height, water. There are many children who have fear of water. They don't want to try swimming because they think that if we go into the water we can't take breath and we die. But all we need is a step, the first step that take us for 200 miles. All we need is that self confidence, that courage, and also that step. So this is the story about a seagull, that how he tried his first flight, how his mother played a trick with him, and he got success in that first flight. So now let's see the second, that is Black Aeroplane. Black Aeroplane. The lesson Black Aeroplane by Frederick Fawcett reflects on how one's judgment gets distorted due to fantasizing and how it creates problems. In this chapter, the narrator is Pilot, who is so eager to meet his family and have a good breakfast that he takes the wrong decision of facing the storm instead of doing the right thing. Miraculously, he somehow manages to escape with the help of a mysterious aeroplane. Now ये स्टोरी है एक पायलट की जो बहुत ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड है अपने घर जाने के लिए एंड वांट्स टू ईट हाउस ब्रेकफास्ट, और उसके लिए वो एक रिस्क लेता है एंड he take that risk as he was very eager to meet his family. There is imagination going on into his mind about his family members and breakfast also. And for this, he needs to take the wrong or wants to take the risk to meet them as soon as possible. So, what happens when he takes that decision and how he get out of that situation? Let's see. The story Black Aeroplane is about a pilot who feels happy and contented to fly over a city that is sleeping At the night time, he is flying from Paris to London. While taking his flight, he dreams about the long holiday with his family. He also fantasizes about the scrumptious breakfast he would have upon landing. As soon as he crosses Paris, he gets a look of the dark clouds that were a sign of upcoming storm. Now it's a story about a pilot who is very happy, and what he likes to fly over a city when everybody is sleeping. Means it's night time. He likes to fly the flight. उसको प्लेन उड़ाना रात के टाइम बहुत पसंद है जब सभी सो रहे होते हैं. And he is going, and the flight name is Dakota, Old Dakota. And he is going from France back to England. From Paris to London वो जा रहा है, and in his imagination there is a dream about a long holiday कि अब वहाँ पे land करने के बाद में I take a long holiday and I spend my time with my family and having a scrumptious breakfast. So he is having that full of imagination about his family. Now while he reached to Paris, then what happens? He crosses the Paris. He get a look of dark clouds. उसको आगे अपने बहुत ज़्यादा अंधेरा दिखा, dark clouds दिखे, and this is the signal of that storm occurs, कि storm आएगा. So he just tried to check the compass map and everything, fuel, everything wants to start checking. And there is a imagination also going in his mind about his family, about breakfast. So when he saw that cloud, they were so huge, they looked like black mountains standing in front of me and across the sky. And he knew that he could not fly up, but he also don't have enough fuel that he can take a turn and move back to Paris. So he just take that risk. He entered the clouds and everything suddenly get blacked. And it was impossible to see anything outside the aeroplane. And the old aeroplane jumped and twisted in the air. He looked at the compass. He could not believe that the compass was turning round and round and round. This means that it was dead. The compass is not working, stopped working. Other instrument also suddenly get dead. And he also tried to contact by radio to Paris control room. He started saying, "Can you hear me? Can you hear me?" There was no answer, and the radio was also dead. Now he has no radio, no compass, no map, and he could not see where he was going. He lost in the storm. Then, in the black clouds, quite near that aeroplane, he saw another aeroplane. It had no lights, no wings, but he could see it flying next to me through the storm. He could see the pilot face turned towards him. He was very glad to see another person. He lifted one hand and waved. And what sound came back? "Follow me." He was saying, "Follow me." As he know that he was lost, he is trying to help him out. He turned his aeroplane slowly to the north. That is another aeroplane. And pilot started following that aeroplane. Pilot was very happy that he is going behind some strange aeroplane like an obedient child. After half an hour, the strange black aeroplane was still there in front of him in the clouds. and he also see the fuel meter, that there is enough fuel that he can land, or he can fly to 5 to 10 minutes more. Now he again get frightened because there is less fuel and he cannot see the sky till now also. So there is again, he get frightened, but then he suddenly get going down, and suddenly he came out of the clouds and saw two straight lines of lights in front of him, and it was runway, an airport, and he thinks that I was safe, and he turned to look for the my friend in black aeroplane who saved his life, that strange aeroplane, that strange pilot to whom he's following like an obedient child. He started looking all around the runway. Then he landed and he go near the control tower and asked the woman in the control center that where I am and who the other pilot who flying over the sky or flying over the storm. I want to meet him and say thank you. But the lady said very strangely that another aeroplane? There is no other aeroplane flying in this storm. It was yours only, and no other pilot is there. So he thinks that who helped me out then? How I landed safely, as there is no radio connectivity, no compass, no other instrument working, and also there is less fuel in the tanks. So very he start giving strange looks. But all that is he get rid of that storm is his self confidence, his courage, that yes, I can move out of this storm. There is no black aeroplane, there was nothing like that. As he there is an aim in front of him that he wants to go back home and have that scrumptious breakfast in his mind that take him out from that storm. उसके सामने उसकी फैमिली थी, उसका वो एम था कि हाँ मुझे वहाँ पे पहुँचना है और उनके साथ में हॉलीडे स्पेंड करना है, एंड एनी हाउ आई हैव टू गेट रिड आउट ऑफ दैट. अगर वो उसी वक्त हार मान लेता कि नहीं, अब तो मैं आई एम श्योर दैट आई विल डाई इन दिस स्टॉर्म, so he can't get out from that. So children, what we need is the self confidence, self courage on ourselves, because we the human can face any challenges, any adversities, any obstacles in our life. All we need is our self confidence. Let's see
The narrator's mysterious encounter with a strange pilot in a black aeroplane during his flight from Paris to London. Let's see what happens in The Black Aeroplane by Frederick Forsyth. The narrator was happily flying his old Dakota aeroplane over France. He was looking forward to flying back home for the holidays. So he contacted Paris Control and informed them that he was flying back to England. He then checked his map and compass. He was on his last tank, but he believed he could make it to England. He was dreaming of an English breakfast. 150 kilometers from Paris, he saw storm clouds in the sky. They looked like huge black mountains. The narrator thought he should return to Paris, but he really wanted to reach home and have breakfast. So, deciding to risk it, he flew his Dakota into the storm. Everything went black. The narrator checked his compass. To his amazement, the compass was turning around and round and round. It wasn't working. None of his instruments were. He couldn't contact Paris Control for help. He was now lost in the storm. Suddenly, he saw another plane flying towards him. The pilot waved and told the narrator to follow him. The narrator was glad. He followed the black aeroplane like an obedient child. The narrator had been following the black aeroplane for quite some time. The Dakota was now on its last fuel tank. It would only last for a few more minutes. The narrator was beginning to feel afraid when the black aeroplane started circling down. Suddenly, he came out of the clouds. With joy, he saw a runway in front of him. He was safe. He looked around for the black aeroplane so he could thank the pilot. But there was no sign of the black aeroplane. He landed, glad to be walking away from his Dakota. At the control tower, he asked about the other pilot. The woman at the counter looked at him puzzled. She told him that his plane was the only one she could see on the radar. The narrator was stunned. Who was the pilot in the black aeroplane without lights?
So this is about the chapter. I hope you understand in this chapter. And also read the text from the book First Flight so that you can understand more. So by this chapter comes to an end. Thank you and have a good day.